Hey rollers, people seem to like my last video where I rolled with Jules.
Jules!
So I racked my brain for an idea for a new video, and then it came to me.
Jules too. Jules too.
Early in the match, I ducked out of his collar tie only to let him lock it on again when I tried to set up an arm drag. I decided that wasn't a good exchange, so I slid it off again and got a collar tie of my own. When he went for my leg, I threatened a guillotine. That was enough to get him to let go, and that's when I timed my shot at a single leg. He wrapped up my neck, but I finished the takedown, making sure to go cross-body so he couldn't finish the choke. Even at this angle, it was tight enough to be a concern, so I peeled away at his wrist. I wanted to be sure he couldn't connect his hands or get his left hand to the other side of my neck. I tried to use it against him by trapping his arm and driving my right shoulder into his neck. I'd call it a Von Flue choke, but my hands weren't gabled together to really pour on the pressure. He tried turning into me, and I could tell that he wasn't really bothered with the position, so I used my right forearm to frame on his neck and free my head. I used my knee to block his attempts to re-guard, but I never postured up into proper knee on belly. I spent too long hanging out without posture, and I must have forgotten that I was dealing with a powerful dude. Nice work, man. I spun around to get half guard and then checked his hip as he tried to circle clockwise. The old Jules might have opened up his left arm for a Kimura, but no such luck. I set up a lockdown on his leg and did what I could to avoid his crossface. I think this technique is called combing the hair, which is something I haven't done for a long time. I had a chance to dive under for an electric chair, but Jules sensed my hesitation and turned it into a modified scarf hold. I still had a strong hook with my right leg, which I hoped to use if I could slip my head out and take his back. Unfortunately, I couldn't get my head out, and then he limited my movement by pinning down my right arm. I had spent almost a minute under his weight, so I thought it would only be fair to cause him some discomfort by bringing my left arm up and framing on his neck. I didn't feel quite cheap enough to give him the muzzle, but I used some chin pressure to bring him higher where I could unbalance him more easily and maybe find my way to that electric chair that I was looking for earlier. With this low position and a deep underhook, it was time to dig under the leg and pull it toward my neck. He had my neck wrapped up again, but I still managed to pry his legs apart and get the sweep. I had to frame on his neck again to free my head, and I went straight into knee on belly. I got too eager on the far side armbar, and he shucked my leg over his head and drove his way into my guard. A quick look at the clock told me that I had a couple of minutes to make something happen. I tried pinning his wrist to his chest so that I could throw up a triangle, but he defended that. In the process though, he brought his left arm across. This opened up a pathway to the back, but I had some other ideas. When my arm was free, I thought I'd look for a quick head and arm triangle from the bottom. I started with a gable grip, and then advanced to a rear naked choke style grip. I tried shrimping out to the side and making a shallower grip so that my bony forearm would hit his carotid. This wasn't working out well, so I tried to go into basic back control, but I couldn't tip Jules over. He just stayed on his knees and defended his neck. He recognized that I was too high on his back, and he tried to pull me over. Once he cleared my right arm, it was easy for him to shake me off and go into my half guard. I first tried a Kimura grip and then switched to an Americana grip before I realized that I wasn't going to put his arm in danger. He tried for a while to pass to side control, but I stubbornly held on to that half guard and triangled my legs. Jules didn't have any cross-face pressure, so I stayed up on my left shoulder. I moved my right arm inside so that I could ball up like I would if I were being mauled by a bear. This gave me the chance to swim my arm right through and apply some odd pressure, kind of like a grape popper, to control him while I tried to re-guard and hunt down a guillotine. During these 5 minutes, I spent roughly 3.5 of them on the bottom. Not a great strategy when rolling with a big strong guy like Jules. It would be a terrible strategy for a real fight. On the other hand, it's good to become comfortable working from bad positions. I hope that this video has been useful for you to see some possible strategies from the bottom. If you enjoy my videos, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Thank you for watching.